Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Dr. Erica Torres, System Vice President of Mission Integration. This is a very special day. It is a privilege to honor and celebrate our 2023 system-wide Mission and Values Awards recipients with you. I am thrilled to see we have more than 210 people with us today. We're recording the ceremony and we'll post it in the Caregiver next week so you can rewatch, or those who aren't able to attend today can view the ceremony later. I joined Peacehealth in late 2018, and it was the mission and values that really drew me here. Last year, I transitioned to the mission integration role. I now have the distinct responsibility of ensuring that we continue to walk the walk, that we continue to live out the legacy that the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace set out for us. Our mission to treat each person in a loving and caring way is the common thread that's woven through everything we do. These past several years have been tough for those of us in healthcare. It can be easy to get bogged down with the mundane, the stress, the struggles. However, it is especially in these tumultuous times that we must remain connected to our mission. We must hold tight to our core values: collaboration, stewardship, respect, and social justice. Today, we get to honor caregivers who have done just that. Caregivers who are walking the walk, embodying our mission in everyday interactions with patients and with one another. I am so excited to present each of them to you in our ceremony today. Before we get started, let's take a few moments to get to know you with some polling questions. So there are two ways to respond to the questions. First, you can go to slido.com, that's SLIDO.com on your mobile device or your desktop, and enter the code 3913586. Or second, you can use your smartphone's camera app to scan the QR code you can see on your screen. Our first poll question is, what Peacehealth community are you from? And it's so great, I see some folks coming in from our System Services office. We have folks in the Northwest Network. We have some folks at Peace Harbor on the call today. We have folks in the Oregon Network at St. Joseph and Bellingham. We have, someone said they're here from SSC, but they're here to support everyone. We have folks in Alaska tuning in, and some folks in Bellingham at St. Joe's Medical Center, in Ketchikan. So great to see Peacehealth Southwest, several folks calling in from there, and St. John. I also see some folks at Riverbend, in Springfield, and United General. Really, really great. Some more folks in Bellingham. And thank you so much for letting me know where you're calling in from. Someone from remote Washington State, thank you for that. We know some of you may be gathered together to watch the ceremony with your colleagues and your family and your friends. So tell us, who are you watching with today? And let's take a moment to see what comes up in the post. Who are you watching with? Some folks are here again in System Services. Someone said, I'm here by myself. Someone said, I'm watching with my colleagues. I'm myself. I'm working remote. Someone's watching with their husband and their pup. And someone says they're here watching with their leader. Many of you are watching by yourselves in your office, at home, alone, watching remotely. Thank you so much. Someone says they're watching with Millie, their pup. I'm so glad your pup is watching with us. Thank you. And oh, someone's watching with the sick kid at home. I hope your sick kid feels better soon. Someone says they're watching with themselves and here to cheer the Peacehealth family. Thank you all so much for participating. Each one of us is part of a unique Peacehealth community, joined together by our mission and our values, again, of respect, collaboration, social justice, and stewardship. So let's do one more poll question. For our caregivers in the audience, what is most meaningful to you about our mission and values? And I'll give you a moment to answer. Stewardship, social justice, doing the right thing, respect, serving the community, the legacy of the sisters, compassion, our spirit of collaboration, servanthood. We carry on the mission, yes, service and connecting to others, connecting to something bigger than myself. Yes, thank you. Being patient-centered. I feel inspired by the sisters and the equity of service. Thank you all so much for sharing. Thanks so much for those wonderful responses. Now, let's watch a video that highlights our Peacehealth heritage, our mission, and our values. Let's take a few moments to recognize our MVA recipients. In the Northwest Network at Peacehealth Ketchikan Medical Center. At Peacehealth St. Joseph Medical Center. At Peacehealth United General Medical Center. Peacehealth's Peace Island Medical Center. Home and Community in the Northwest Network. And finally, our Peacehealth Medical Group in the Northwest Network. And our Columbia Network at Peacehealth St. John Medical Center. At Peacehealth Southwest Medical Center. At Home and Community in the Columbia Network. And our Peacehealth Medical Group in the Columbia Network. Finally, in our Oregon Network at Peacehealth Sacred Heart Medical Center at Riverbend. At Peacehealth Sacred Heart Medical Center, University District. And at Peacehealth Cottage Grove, our Community Medical Center. And at Peacehealth Peace Harbor Medical Center. And Home and Community in the Oregon Network. And finally, Peacehealth Medical Group in the Oregon Network. In Shared Services Center. Caregivers like these who receive Mission and Values Awards are nominated by their peers. If a caregiver inspires you, don't miss an opportunity to honor them. You can share an amazing caregiver story anytime throughout the year by submitting an Everyday Moments of Grace story. Nominations for the 2024 awards will be selected from stories submitted by this September. Award recipients from each Peacehealth community will be announced during Heritage celebrations starting in January 2024. As is our tradition, we begin our celebration with a reflection. We're so grateful to Sister Sheila Lemieux, one of our Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace, for being with us today to share a reflection.
At Peacehealth, we have a wonderful heritage built on the history and legacy of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. Our mission provides the foundation for who we are as a ministry. Our 16,000 caregivers are dedicated to carrying on the healing mission of Jesus Christ, promoting personal and community health, relieving pain and suffering, and treating each person in a loving and caring way. During these last several years, first with a worldwide pandemic, and now in the midst of financial challenges, every one of our caregivers has been impacted in one way or another. More than ever, the guiding light and direction provided by our mission and values is needed in critical ways we're not experienced in our lifetimes. Several years ago, we faced a different set of challenges, and the sisters chose to renew their commitment to our shared purpose. What I share at this time remains just as true today. What is particularly unique about this moment in our history is that collectively, we face an unknown future. Facing the unknown is not something new for us. One only has to study our history, particularly our founding story, to know that. What I believe is different about today is this: we are consciously choosing to shape the future rather than allowing the future to shape us. Each of us is invited to have a part. We are privileged to live in a time when everything is at stake and when our efforts make a difference. We will make that difference if, in the midst of all the unknowns, the changes and the challenges, we continue to work actively to develop our gift of peace. Peace through justice in ways that can be transformative for today's world. As we experience this Inspirational Mission and Values Award recognition ceremony, let us consider and align with the call that we can be transformative for today's world through living out our mission and values. Thank you for joining us to recognize these 5 outstanding caregivers from across Peacehealth who are demonstrating our values of respect, stewardship, collaboration, and social justice through their service in our communities. Today, we celebrate this living heritage as we share their stories which demonstrate our mission in action.
Thank you, Sister Sheila. What a powerful reflection. It really gives meaning to why we're here today. We're joined now by Steve Glenn, Peacehealth's Executive Vice President and Chief Business and Technology Officer, and our Senior Mission Leader. Thanks for joining us, Steve. We're eager to hear from you today.
Thank you, Erica. It's such a privilege to be here today. I'd like to start by again sharing the Peacehealth mission statement that Sister Sheila shared with us. We carry on the healing mission of Jesus Christ by promoting personal and community health, relieving pain and suffering, and treating each person in a loving and caring way. The words of our mission statement are powerful and historic. For more than 130 years, they have guided us in joyous times and during our most challenging times as we travel together on this healing journey. What inspires me personally each day as we strive to carry out this healing mission is the sisters' model of the attributes of being boldly courageous, working tirelessly to achieve the vision of health justice for all. The Mission and Values Awards are one of the highest honors that we as a health system present. Our recipients have been nominated by not only their leaders, but also by their colleagues and peers. The Mission and Values Awards serve as a reminder of why we are here. Each recipient is a shining example of why we serve our very important mission. The video we saw earlier showed how our mission emerged from the vision of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace, who were courageously involved in ministries of social justice, education, and health care. We are so pleased several of our sisters could join us today. It's such an honor to have them with us today, and we extend our heartfelt and warmest welcome to each of them. Now, I'd like to take a moment to recognize the 2022 Mission and Values Awards recipients and to express our gratitude to them for their extraordinary service to our mission this past year and to the communities where they each serve every day. Here are the 2022 Mission and Values Award honorees: Linda Cordes, Marianne Pehang, Con Trin, Debbie Albright, Dr. Tricia Wooden. We asked Linda Cordes, our 2022 overall award recipient, what this past year has meant to her. Here's what she shared. I was honored to be selected for the overall Mission and Values Award in 2022. All of the award recipients are such an inspiration. I am humbled to be recognized among them. Through this experience, I realized what makes Peacehealth so special is the incredible stories of care and compassion shown for our patients in simple but extraordinary ways every day. Thank you, Linda, for sharing your experience with us.
Thank you, Steve. As an expression of our gratitude and in representation of these honors, each of our recipients will receive this custom-made original work of art created by glassblower Daniel Sherlock. Designed in collaboration with the sisters, the piece features a dove in flight, meant to represent the journey of our caregivers as they continue to carry on Peacehealth's mission and ministry, always moving forward and caring compassionately for our patients and our communities. Let's begin the recognition of our 2023 recipients. So let's begin with the value of respect by hearing first from Sister Marilee Murphy.
When we talk about the value of respect, we mean more than being courageous, complimentary, or concerned. Respect calls us to look deeply, in a sense, to see beyond and see the worth in each person. We value respect for each person, not because a person earns respect, but because, grounded in our beliefs, each person is to be respected, reverenced, and loved. This means that we speak and act towards each other with kindness, presence, and compassion, and communicate with honesty and integrity. Respect is cultivated, nurtured, and woven into our hearts, thoughts with genuine love and attention, as we do our part to make the world whole, one person at a time.
Thank you, Sister Marilee. I'm Brian Stewart, System Vice President for Home and Community. I'm happy to be here today to share that Tricia Griffin, a hospice nurse with Home and Community in Bellingham, Washington, is our 2023 Mission and Values Award recipient for the value of respect. Let's watch the video and learn a little bit more about Tricia.
You don't always know when somebody is going to pass away, but sometimes you get a feeling. I just always try to go into every house just with grace and acceptance and just be with that patient right where they are.
Currently, she's working as an after-hours nurse, which is a huge undertaking.
When the bigger team of the day with all of the scheduled events is winding down for the day, that's when Tricia is winding up.
Working on the night shift, you're really more autonomous, and you have to just meet the patients wherever they are. Having Tricia be able to answer the phone and just speak to their needs at that moment in time, I know is very comforting.
Working after hours, you are completely by yourself and, you know, triage and problem solve. And that part of the work is quite exhilarating for me. You know, sometimes I picture myself driving down the road with my cape flying out the window.
Tricia treats her patients with respect and dignity, whether they are homeless and alone or with a large support system.
She is someone who brings a great deal of calm to even the most difficult situations.
Every time I run into Tricia, she's just someone so full of life. She's always smiling, she's upbeat, and she's ready to take on any challenge.
She's very family focused and really has set good boundaries between her work and her life.
She takes the time away that she needs so that she can be fully present for this work that she does.
I love to hike and camp, and I'm going to be in Nepal trekking to Mount Everest Base Camp in April for 3 weeks.
Tricia was contacted by the parents of a young person on our service, a child, and they were anticipating he was appearing to be very close or getting closer to end of life.
This was an incredibly difficult situation. That the young man was very young, and he had 3 younger sisters, and it was not something that any young family should ever have to go through.
And she just really came in to that home and that family to just really support them in ways that were meaningful to them.
And what the family shared with us is that they felt that their child had a peaceful passing. And I can't think of a greater gift at such a heartbreaking time.
I love Tricia as a nurse, as a person, as a human, and I'm proud to work with her.
She shows up for patients and families with her best self every day.
This is my calling. This is, you know, what I was meant to do.
That was so inspiring. The work that you do is incredible, and you are certainly called to it. Tricia, I am delighted that you're here with us today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. It is truly a pleasure to get to know you and to celebrate the recognition you're receiving for bringing the value of respect to life. In the video we just watched, we got to see the thoughtful, compassionate care you provide to hospital patients, to hospice patients. Tricia, what originally inspired you to become a hospice nurse?
Well, originally I thought my calling would be a midwife. I got into nursing to be a midwife. And then over the years of nursing, which of course everyone knows there's many options you can do, through those experiences, it led me to hospice care. And the day that I went out with one of the nurses, which was Tara, who's an amazing experienced hospice nurse, we were in somebody's home, and I just thought, this is this is where I need to be, and have been everywhere in the hospital, and actually just walking into a person's home and just like thinking, I'm going to make a difference. I am going to help relieve the pain and suffering in this patient, in this family, and be completely present with them. My grandmother, who was my biggest champion when I started nursing, always said to me, Tricia, just remember that every patient is a family member, somebody's mother, father, brother, sister, and just always treat them with that compassion and kindness that you would your own family member. And I have carried that with me through my whole nursing career. It's always a little play in my tape, my grandmother is saying, this could be your mother. Even if a difficult patient, you're like, treat them like their family. And I really have tried. My cousin, Amy, is also a hospice nurse, home health nurse, and she's for years have been saying, Tricia, get into community nursing. I think you'd be great at it. Hospice, hospice, hospice. And I finally did, and she was absolutely correct. It is the most rewarding job in nursing that I have ever had the privilege to do.
Wonderful, wonderful. What a beautiful story.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. Congratulations to you on receiving this very amazing award. So thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Now it's my privilege to welcome Sister Eileen Trainer, who will introduce us to the value of collaboration.
The value of collaboration reinforces our belief that we can do more together than we can do alone. Looking back at the tireless, courageous work of our founding sisters, Peacehealth heritage is truly rooted in collaboration. We recognize the gifts and talents we each have, calling them forth in one another, while also reaching out to those we engage with our ministries. Collaboration is embedded in the life of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace, and it's embodied in the life of Peacehealth, recognizing our interdependence. Whatever one of us does impacts another.
Thank you, Sister Eileen. I'm Dory Stevens. I'm the Chief Administrative Officer for Peacehealth Ketchikan Medical Center in Alaska. And I'm so happy to announce that Pat Stack, our manager of the Child Development Center at Peacehealth Ketchikan, is our 2023 Mission and Values Award recipient for the value of collaboration. Let's watch this video and learn more about Pat.
I just go in thinking, all right, I'm gonna have fun today, because if you're working with a bunch of kids and you don't go to work expecting to have fun, then you gotta go find something else to do.
Pat is adventurous and loving and musical and creative and just all around wonderful.
Pat sees my son every morning and he runs to him and he says goodbye to him in the afternoon, takes him on walks. So I feel a lot of gratitude towards Pat and what he does for the community.
He's the reason why I can focus on what I'm doing at work, because I never have to worry about what's happening with my kids. I just know that they're being cared for and they're loved and they're safe and they're having a wonderful time every day.
The other parents who have their kids there, those are people I also depend on here to do my own job. The resource is invaluable for us here in Ketchikan.
You know, my relationships with the kids, with the families, with my coworkers, it really is as family as it gets.
Pat has been at the center for so long that he's now into the next generation of caregivers.
Pat cared for all three of my kids, and now he's helping care for my first grandchild as well. He carries our mission into the community, even in his off hours, and he's very active in his church, very active in the outdoors.
He's a really good photographer and he has these really cool photos, and it's really inspiring to live vicariously through Pat, some of the cool hikes he does.
My wife and I, we love to be out on the boat. We love fishing. We also are big hikers. We love climbing the mountains around here or going along the beaches.
Pat is a musician. He plays guitar and he sings, and the kids kind of play along with him.
Just fabulous watching him with the guitar, because he's in the middle singing songs and there are all these kids around him, adoring him, looking at him, smiling, laughing.
The kids tend to get up and dance and sing along.
When I put the guitar away, they're still going. They're still singing the songs, and it's one of the fabrics of our days. There just always is music.
During COVID, he recognized that family component of our center was going to be missed.
And Pat took it upon himself to start a virtual circle time, because that's something that the kids all love so much at the center. He was filming himself through Facebook Live and doing some of the songs that they usually do.
And so the kids felt like they still had some connection to the center and to Mr. Pat during a time when they weren't seeing him regularly.
Whenever I drop them off, I don't feel guilty. I feel happy. They're going to a happy, loving place, you know, where they treat all kids with respect.
That allows all of our caregivers to be able to dedicate their work lives to caring for our community, knowing that their children are in good hands.
Peacehealth that's home for me. And anytime I'm in a situation where I'm not sure, like, this is tough, how are we going to handle this? You know, I can always look at the mission and values.
He is the core of that facility and really does do a great job keeping us families working.
Wow, didn't that video just make you smile? It sure did me. That just brings something to my heart to watch that video. And I hear again and again how appreciative our caregivers are of the incredible care Pat provides to their children. And I'm so happy he's being honored with this award. And Pat, it's such a pleasure to have you with us today. Thank you so much for coming out. We're excited to hear from you. And thank you again for being here. Pat, it's such an honor to celebrate this special day. And I'm grateful for all you do to support our caregivers in caring for their children, gives them that peace of mind to focus on caring for our patients. You make a vital difference every day to everybody, and you are so loved in all the buildings within Peacehealth and Ketchikan. I'm going to ask you a question you can share with us. In addition to Avocado Man, can you tell us what you enjoy most about the work that you do?
Yes. Okay, so this is kind of funny. But my alarm clock went off earlier this week, and I told my wife, hey, you don't know this, but every time the alarm clock goes off, what I hear in my head is, time to make the donuts. And what that is, there's a Dunkin's donut commercial that came out in the 1980s, and this guy wakes up, and every day, the first thing that he hears after his alarm clock goes off is time to make the donuts. But he's not really that excited about it. He's kind of stuck in this mundane loop of repetitiveness. He's like, time to make the donuts. But for me, I love to make the donuts. I literally wake up, first thing I hear is time to make the donuts, but it's like this, time to make the donuts. Because to me, that's going to work. And I genuinely wake up every day expecting to have fun. And I love doing what I do. It's about the relationships, it's about the connections, the milestones, the adventures. It's with the children, it's with the families, the caregivers, and just being together doing these things. At the end of the day, what I would say, what I love the most about what we get to do at the center is that there is this sense of family. And I'm a parent as well as a caregiver, as well as being in daycare. And I know as a parent, on the other side of things, where I want to drop my kid off is somewhere where I know they're going to get treated like family. And I believe that our center does that. And I'm so blessed to be a part of that.
And they do. And we can see the joy that you bring to work every day.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you to go out there every day and make fabulous donuts. And congratulations again. Thank you, Pat. Now, Sister Margaret Diamond will introduce us to the value of social justice.
Our value of social justice was chosen by the founding sisters in response to the social concerns and needs of their times, and because they were deeply moved by people suffering from oppression. Today, this commitment to dignity and justice for all remains stronger than ever. We have a responsibility to shine a light on the profound effect social inequities have on health and well-being, and to respond with just action. We are called to promote the inherent dignity of each person and seek justice through solidarity, especially in service to the most vulnerable. Together, we can be the change needed to further the common good and ensure a Peacehealth experience where dignity for all flourishes and where our actions make our world a safer, more compassionate, and inclusive place.
Thank you, Sister Margaret. Hello, I'm Chuck Prosper, Chief Executive for the Northwest Network. I'm very pleased to share that Kayla Torres, a Director of Nursing at Peacehealth St. Joseph Medical Center in Bellingham, Washington, is our 2023 Mission and Values Award recipient for the value of social justice. Since her arrival in 2019, she has had a profound impact throughout the Northwest Network. Let's hear about the special work that Kayla performs.
It's very rewarding to see the mission come to life when you get to participate in some of the things that I have been privileged to do. I wanted to be the Puerto Rican female version of Perry Mason, and I went to law school. I became a lawyer and then had this epiphany of maybe I wanted to do something different. And coming from a family of nurses, some of the most memorable moments in my life have been when I spent time in the hospital visiting my mom.
Kayla truly embodies being an advocate for all persons, and she's made many positive changes within our organization that reflect social justice.
She's a Puerto Rican woman. She is multilingual. She is a mother of 3 sons, and all of those identities she brings into her work.
She has justice embedded in her soul and her spirit. She's very committed and very passionate about this work.
She loves where she is from. She is absolutely proud to have the roots and upbringing and the culture and the heritage and all the values of what a Latina means. She really loves being in community, being with her family, being able to break bread.
Kayla is an amazing, amazing cook. Empanadas are her specialty.
She frequently will bring us just fantastically tasting things that she has made.
Our language of love is through food. So I spend a significant amount of time cooking and sharing that food with my colleagues.
One of the things that I know Kayla to really be passionate about is language justice.
English is not my first language. I know what it's like. When I had my youngest son, I had a very traumatizing experience. I felt that I wasn't seen, I wasn't heard, and people ran with assumptions. Still resonates with me today and has been a guiding principle.
Kayla has been one of the advocates that's made that a priority for our entire organization.
And having that be heard in a native language is absolutely critical to provide the highest level of care.
Kayla has been an advocate in this work through the Comunidad Care Affinity Group to ensure compassionate care for everyone that steps into our facilities.
It's been really rewarding and humbling to partner with local community-based organizations that are very passionate about giving a voice to their community members and looking at Peacehealth as that key partner that can help bridge these gaps.
She is truly a tireless advocate for our entire community. We're really lucky to have her.
Without her, we couldn't be doing all of this work. She empowers us to do our best.
When I think about Peacehealth's vision, every person receives safe, compassionate care every time, every touch. I know that Kayla lives by this.
No matter who you are and where you come from, we are here to serve you.
We are so inspired by Kayla's example and her commitment to diversity and inclusion. Kayla, it's wonderful to have you here today.
Thank you, Chuck. It's awesome to be sitting here with you.
Excellent, excellent. Well, you're definitely an inspiration to me and to countless others. I've certainly eaten my fair share of empanadas, so thank you for that. Tell us how language justice impacts the care that we provide for our patients and communities.
Sure. So first of all, I want to take a moment. I couldn't think of a better person to be sitting with because you have been a passionate advocate for us. And I say the collective us of those who are really passionate and present when it comes to driving social justice in what we do every day. It's not about the grand gestures, it's about the showing up every day. Now, in thinking within the context of the question you just posed, I want to give you a broader perspective and then narrow it down some. First off, we think throughout time, we have seen how with acts of language oppression comes the loss of cultural teachings, health practices, and healing traditions, resulting in diminished protective factors and health disparities that have impacted and continue to impact some of our most vulnerable. As such, for me, honoring language of choice is key to health and well-being. It is truly giving a voice to those who have not felt seen or heard. It is making the invisible visible. And I say to those here and those watching, as a member of Peacehealth, we are in a unique position to do everything we can to honor, respect, and support language justice efforts in all of our healthcare environments. So right here as we're talking, I'm thinking about two words in the Spanish language. And what comes to mind is esencial y la esencia. When translating within the context of their intended meaning, they refer to the following. When you talk about esencial, it refers to something that is so essential, so critical. Y la esencia centers on capturing the essence of something or someone. And this is how I think about our commitment to language justice, because all care begins with and is facilitated with communication. And there's nothing more fundamental than language of choice in ensuring effective communication. If you think about it, communication is the gateway to everything: safety, quality, experience, optimal outcomes. So, knowing that if we cannot adequately communicate in our patient's language of choice, then what have we done? We have inherently knocked over the first domino in the string of dominoes that create inequities throughout the continuum of care. And so this has led us to this particular moment in our journey, the pursuit of justice. We are reframing focus intentionally. We're transitioning from talking about language access to active advocacy for language justice and culturally welcoming and accountable care in and for our communities. I sincerely hope every caregiver sees how providing care in the language of choice is a fundamental act of justice and equity. It is a true reflection of our mission and core values. And I want to leave you today with some words that I had the privilege to hear earlier on today from Sister Kathleen. Without justice, there can be no peace in Peacehealth.
Muchas gracias, Kayla.
De
Su
nada.
corazón es muy grande y bonita.
Muchas gracias, Chuck.
Now let's hear from Sister Charlotte about the value of stewardship.
Peacehealth's value of stewardship is essential to the integrity of who we say we are and to what and how we do what we do. Stewardship is more than oversight and management of financial resources. Stewardship begins first in care, concern, and support for the caregivers and clinicians who bring their gifts and talents in service for the people and communities Peacehealth is committed to serve. Our caregivers are all treasured human resources. Good and faithful stewardship is integral to the fulfillment of Peacehealth's mission. In the hands of competent, wise, compassionate stewards, the precious gifts entrusted into our care are to be stewarded with respect, collaboration, and social justice.
Thank you, Sister Charlotte. I'm Todd Solness, and I'm Chief Executive of the Peacehealth Oregon Network, and it's with great pleasure that I get to announce Tina Nolan, who's the Manager of Supply Chain at Sacred Heart Medical Center at Riverbend, as the 2023 Mission and Values Award for Stewardship. Now let's learn more about Tina.
In my job, I get to kind of help people figure out little puzzles. I like the problem solving. I work closely with a lot of the nurse managers, and I get to help them break down barriers and work on process improvement and, take care of our patients, which is really what our end goal is.
Tina is such an inspiring caregiver and leader. She brings the mission and values to life in the energy she brings to the work she does every day.
Tina is very thoughtful, caring, compassionate, and just loving to everyone around her.
She allows herself time to play and time to connect with friends and family. So she loves live music. She really loves her two new puppies.
They're Chihuahuas, they're sisters, and I rescued them from a lady who, just wasn't in a very good situation.
She has now devoted her life to community benefit and spends a lot of her personal time giving back.
Tina has it in her heart to serve. She loves giving of herself and her heart to help those that are underserved, underprivileged.
She's very enthusiastic in her volunteer work and encouraging and uplifting others.
Tina is really inspired by volunteering. It's where she fills her cup.
My volunteer hours take up a lot. I actually take vacation time to do my volunteer work.
So not only is she highly involved with Volunteers in Medicine Clinic, she leads our effort for Thanksgiving baskets.
Thanksgiving basket program at Sacred Heart is a legacy of the sisters.
We supply baskets full of food for families in need in the community.
We gather all the money, we buy all the food. Now I kind of lead the efforts with a group of a steering committee.
The past few years that she's taken that role on, we've been hugely successful.
We successfully carried out Thanksgiving basket for the last 3 years of the pandemic, and Tina was just remarkable in her belief that that was possible.
We're able to feed over 800 people in our community. We want to make sure that people just can enjoy their time with their families.
Anything that she sees needs to be done, Tina does it.
She was able to help identify where we had cost savings opportunities and really scale back the amount of supplies that was used, reduce variation, and really make it a better experience for the OR.
That ability Tina has to assess the resources we have available, see where the needs are, where the gaps are, and how we can best meet the most needs within the resources we have.
I see her every touch, her caring, compassionate way with people in need, and it's just an honor to work with her.
Well, that was truly amazing, Tina. You truly go above and beyond, all the time, to make sure that the Peacehealth resources are stewarded very well. Your positive approach on life, your commitment to serving the underserved really reflect Peacehealth's mission and values. So I have a question for you. You're clearly out there doing a lot. Your video just showed great examples of that. What do you enjoy the most about your volunteer work in the community?
Yeah, that's, it's a really tough question, actually, and I had to put a lot of thought into it. Because I love being able to do a bunch of different things. One of my favorite things is to be able to sit with a project from start to finish, putting on a fundraiser, helping plan an event. But I don't always have time to do all of them that I would love to do. So I like to be able to at least give a day. I can go run out, volunteer for a day or a few hours, and then sometimes if I don't have time for that, I'm able to help by providing a financial gift to an organization that I feel passionate about, but maybe don't always have the time. And then of course, in my spare time, I do like to, help Peacehealth come up with some, financial savings opportunities.
Well, it's funny you reference you have spare time, because I see you out there doing everything all the time, and you're very committed, and you can feel your passion. And this is why, congrats, because this award is so well deserved for you. And with that, we'd like to welcome Sean Gregory, who's going to introduce our final award recipient.
Thank you, Todd. I'm Sean Gregory, and I serve as the Chief Executive for the Columbia Network. I'm honored to announce this year's overall Mission and Values Award recipient. Of all the nominees identified this year, this overall award is given to one individual who exemplifies our mission and all 4 values, bringing them to life through their compassion, caring, service, and commitment. And I am thrilled that this year's recipient is my friend and colleague, Brian Nelson, Sustainability Programs Manager at Peacehealth Southwest. Now let's enjoy learning more about Brian.
Sustainability is not just a one-person program or a one-initiative program, but it's everybody working together, looking at our respective impacts and trying to figure out how we can all make those little differences that all add up to big change. I get to come to work every day and make a difference.
He came on as our sustainability coordinator, and he's really turned it into a system level force.
Brian is very passionate in the mission that he has for this
sustainability and recycling programs for the hospital.
He brings a sense of determination, expertise as it relates to sustainability, constant curiosity, and he is incredibly effective at influencing those around him for the good of our environment.
Brian achieved so much with his leadership, his perseverance, his high energy, and his commitment to the mission and values of Peacehealth.
Brian and I are also neighbors, and I run into him from time to time with his wife and his dog and cruising around the neighborhood.
My wife and I are big outdoors people. We tend to, on weekends, you can find us on a trail or on a lake somewhere, just walking around it and just being in nature.
He has really worked hard to forge relationships with so many people.
He enabled Peacehealth Southwest to win the award from Practice Green Health. We went on to become the Clark County Big Green Business of the Year.
We have a number of pretty major programs, in the recycling area. And we've got a lot of things in our ORs, for example. We as a system recycled more than 30,000 pounds of blue wrap last year.
The blue wrap is a product that we use to wrap our instrument trays in.
Previously, this would just be sent to the dump. As it disintegrated over the next 500 years, it would emit greenhouse gas emissions, including methane as well as carbon dioxide.
And then working along with several of our sister hospitals that also established programs, based on the model that we set up here at Southwest. They also recycled an additional 16,000 pounds worth that we sent to a partner who recycled that and turned that back into other medical products that we can use here in the hospital.
One of the waste streams that Brian has really helped us the most with is the waste that we create by our consumption of food and dealing with food waste.
We have a food digester that can recycle all the food waste from our dining facility.
We digest that on campus, and we're not sending any food waste to the landfills.
Desflurane is an anesthetic gas. It puts people to sleep, and it's also a potent greenhouse gas.
Desflurane is now removed from almost all the Peacehealth system hospitals and substituted has been sevoflurane, which is at least 20 times less toxic and probably 20 times cheaper because it's generic. And so that's been a real win-win.
We've removed one of our most harmful anesthetic gases. We've got more than a 99% reduction across the system.
He's got his hands in everything, and in a wonderful way. He really helps keep projects moving forward, and he continues building and strengthening the relationships that need to happen to have these things go forward.
He just is proactive in problem solving, and he's taken us places that I didn't think we would get to in years.
We get to touch every aspect of the hospital as we try to build in sustainability into our culture and just as a matter of how we do our business every single day as we take care of patients.
As we've just seen, Brian is truly a superhero of sustainability at Peacehealth. He works tirelessly and enthusiastically to lead Peacehealth and our community in eco-friendly efforts. Brian, you are so deserving of this special recognition. We're delighted you're with us today and look forward to hearing from you.
Thanks for having me here today. An awesome opportunity to be here to be able to talk about environmental sustainability.
Your passion for greener workplace is contagious and spreading across Peacehealth, probably much faster than both of us thought would happen, but certainly excited for us to get a chance to celebrate this right now. The writers of the script were very smart, and they gave you one question, because I know this is a topic you're very passionate about. What actions can Peacehealth take to be an even better steward of resources and care for the environment around us?
Thanks, Sean. Before I answer, I'm hoping you'll allow me to take a moment to acknowledge the rest of the award winners and the nominees from all over the hospitals, and say that I'm accepting this award really on behalf of a lot of very eco-passionate teammates across our hospital and system. I'd also like to acknowledge that none of the successes that we've been able to celebrate so far would have been possible really without Dr. Stan Friedberg and his vision as our most ardent champion, along with the Southwest Foundation's critical support really through our Green Fund. And finally, I'd like to thank you and our leadership team at Southwest for really allowing me the space to just work to create a program during COVID and during our other challenges. As I work to build our vision, I find that I spend a lot of time working to try to make the connection for how we deliver care to our communities and its relationship to our environment. It's not always obvious, but there are sustainability impacts from every activity and within every role in healthcare. And frankly, oftentimes the care that we provide makes things worse for the environment. Consider this. Healthcare consumes huge amounts of energy on every continent and contributes to climate change and air pollution that kills upwards of 7 million people a year. In the US alone, healthcare is responsible for nearly 10% of greenhouse gas emissions. But here's our leverage. We are nearly 20% of the US economy and 10% of the entire global economy. The changes that we make can really move entire industries away from harm and help set new norms that will positively affect our patients' health. So, to finally answer your question, I think the thing that would be most impactful for us to help move our system forward on our sustainability journey would be for all of us to recognize that we are actually part of the solution. Yes, sustainability is part of my official job title, but environmental stewardship has been part of our culture since our founding and continues to be demonstrated by the sisters and through the leadership of Pope Francis through Laudato Si, the first ever encyclical on the care of our common home as part of our duty here on earth. Sustainability is not just about recycling, it includes or using less energy or water. It's not just something that we do when we have time or when it's convenient. Instead, it's a moral imperative and a duty that should be at the core of how each of us approaches our mission each day. By embracing sustainable practices, we can have a direct impact and help protect the environment, conserve resources, mitigate the impacts that will primarily affect the most vulnerable of us, and create a more prosperous and equitable future for our children and generations to come.
So after, Brian, listening to you, it's no surprise that you were acknowledged with this amazing honor. And thank you for all your incredible efforts. All of us at Peacehealth are extremely proud of you. When I say everybody at Peacehealth, you have touched people all across our system, both patients and our communities. Thank you.
Thank you for this honor.
And now, let's welcome back Steve Glenn.
Thank you, Sean. What an amazing group of caregivers that we have just heard from and the work that they do every day. I'm just inspired by them so much. It's just incredible. And, you know, Brian was right. The Care for the Earth is a part of the Sisters of St. Joseph's ethos and has been for hundreds of years. So I'm just so impressed by the inspiring stories we've heard today. Congratulations to each of our award recipients and to the 80 recipients that were recognized this January in the Peacehealth communities where they serve. Our mission leaders, along with our sisters, were able to spend time with each of today's award recipients. They all carry these 4 attributes: compassion, care, community, and humility. Each of you is so deserving. You truly reflect our healing mission and inspire us. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with this thought from the foundress of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace, Sister Margaret Anna Cusack. We want brave, noble, large-minded, courageous souls. This is what she was seeking as she set out to recruit others to be part of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Peace. Our 5 award recipients represent these attributes. Now let's welcome Erica back to share some closing remarks.
Thank you, Steve, and the hundreds of you who joined this virtual award ceremony to celebrate our heritage and our 2023 Mission and Values Awards recipients. Again, that was Tricia Griffin, Pat Stack, Kayla Torres, Tina Nolan, and Brian Nelson. I believe I speak for everyone in expressing sincere appreciation to the 5 of you for inspiring us this afternoon and every day as you live out our mission and values, and for helping us all to believe we can as well. Again, thank you all for being here to celebrate these incredible Peacehealth caregivers. It has been a truly memorable occasion. Remember, together, we carry on our healing mission. Have a wonderful evening.